high-collar Governor Hyuk. We're not gonna fucking spend a lot of time on this, and it's not fucking necessary. I just wanted to talk some shit and put it on the fucking YouTube channel for people to listen to because I feel like getting it off my fucking chest. If you don't like it, listen to another goddamn video. But I'm sick of this shit. Sick of it. And I'm not poor. And I'm not poor. I'm not poor.
I'm poor.
I have $9.
I'm poor as fuck.
I'm poor as fuck. I have the $9. It's the goddamn principle of the goddamn matter. No, when they first started doing this congestion relief zone bullshit, congestion zone relief, whatever the fuck, right? It didn't make sense just in the plan, the execution of it. It doesn't make sense to me. How do you expect something to work as a plan, right, when you're executing it in a way that does not seem to fit the problem you're trying to solve? So, just a quick recap of what we talked about last time I brought this up, which was the implementation of the NYC Congestion Relief Zone deal. This is cameras on bridges, cameras on the 60th Street line, and if you go through the toll area, you get charged the $9 for the actual passing. So to go uptown from Manhattan, it costs you $9. To come off of the bridge and highways to get onto the street, it costs you $9. We were told that street access off the bridges is what gave you the toll. To avoid the toll, you just need to take the one bridge, which is the Brooklyn Bridge, that has a direct line to the FDR Drive, which is a highway. You could avoid it that way. Not true. And we did that, and we still got charged the $9, which means it was either on the exit ramp of the bridge or the exit that we got off. It's one or the other. I can't tell because I wasn't looking for it. I just know that we were charged for it. So here's the thing. The idea of it being there is up for debate because they've never said the word that would make it a problem solver. The problem being New York City has a lot of traffic. So they said we want to eliminate some of the traffic. So what we're going to do is we're going to put toll booths here, 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 and here, and that's going to stop the traffic. How? They never really explained. Because if you really wanted to explain it, you would use a very, very important word. But they didn't use the word because the word doesn't fit what they're trying to do. The word, I feel like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. The word of the day is deterrent. Yay! It's supposed to be a deterrent. That's the point of the toll. It's $9 now. In about 3 years, it'll be $12. And about 3 years after that, it'll be $15. Just to fucking go uptown. Or downtown. However the fuck you want to go. To go past the 60th Street line, it's going to cost you money. That's the word you're supposed to use when describing the plan. We're putting toll booths in here. Or not toll, we're putting toll switches in here. So that it would let people know you can come if you want, but it'll cost you money. If you don't want to pay it, then don't come. It's being used as a deterrent to motivate people to find other methods of transportation to go through the city. That's what this is supposed to be. But they don't use the word deterrent. You know why they don't use deterrent? Because they don't really want to deter you from coming into the city. They put the tolls in, and they want the same exact number, if not more. We could use some more. Call some more of your friends and family to come through the tolls. They want as many people through the tolls as possible because there's another word that they used instead of deterrent. Instead of deterrent, they used another word 3 goddamn times. And that word is, ready? Funding! Yay! That's what this is really supposed to be. Funding! They project a $15 billion increase in revenue for the MTA just with the tolls alone. $15 billion. Why do they need $15 billion? Because they started a 2nd Avenue line. For those of you who don't know anything about New York subways, we have color-coded in letters and numbers. And most of those lines run through different avenues throughout the city. It's how we're able, the city itself is gridded, and that's how it stays gridded through travel. If you want to go to the east side, that takes you to the Lexington Ave line, which is the green, the 456. You want to go somewhere in the middle, that's either the yellow, which is the NRQ, which comes up Broadway, or you could take a 6th Avenue line, which is orange, which is the BDF. You can take a little bit, if you're heading more toward the west side, it's the red and the blue. The 7th Avenue line, which is the 123, and you have the blue line, which is the A and the C. Now, there are other letters in between, and there's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the basic idea. Now, the farthest east you can go is the green line, which I just told you was the Lexington Ave line, which is next to 3rd Ave. And on that east side, there's no other trains. 3rd, 2nd, 1st, York Ave, there's no other trains over there. That's several blocks, no trains. So they decided to cut down on traffic because to try to take a green train in the middle of the day, you better be strapped or wearing boxing gloves because you're going to get fucked up or you're going to have to do some fucking up to get to where you need to be. These trains are like herding cattle, like you said in Japan, right? So they decided, we're going to start construction on a 2nd Avenue line. This will decrease the traffic on the green line. The problem is they're digging a hole underground in New York City. Back when they first created the subway, when there really wasn't much shit on top of it, it was a much easier and concise process. You can blow shit up, you can dig, you can do whatever the fuck you need to do. Now, it's a far more sensitive thing to do. There's fiber wire cabling, there's piping, there's fucking tall-ass buildings, there's skyscrapers above the goddamn floor now. It's a little bit more of a sensitive deal. So they've spent money after money after money, and it's not complete. The train systems run like shit. When they first introduced the fucking congestion relief, they had a lady on the train station who was just recently set on fucking fire. Now, between the institution of that rule and now, has the trains gotten better? Abso-fucking-lutely not. They have gotten worse because there are people who have decided, fuck the $9, I'll just take the train. But there are people out there that are like, see, that means the congestion has eased up. It hasn't. There's still traffic in the city. It hasn't changed the fucking thing. And the plan was never really to change the fucking thing. They want people down there to pay the fucking money so that they can get their $15 billion. Right now, as we speak, rich, white, entitled motherfuckers are downtown protesting because they want the congestion relief to stay. And their chant is, no more traffic. No more traffic. I said it on the show. I said it on social media. I will repeat and I'll add to it. They don't want us here anymore. For those of you who are questioning who they are, there's your picture. Go to YouTube. Check it out. The marching, the protesting was on the news, and it's on the news station YouTube channels. Just search it up, NYC Congestion Protests, however you want to look it up. They're on the YouTube, chanting away. They don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. They bought their way into a city that they were not born into, that they were not raised into, that is not their fucking culture, that is not their fucking place. They bought into it, and now that they're in, they want you out. You're inconveniencing them. You're irritating them, so they want you to go. That traffic has been there since before their grandmother was born. They don't care. They want you out. That's why I wanted to talk about it on the show. The congestion toll was supposed to be a deterrent if you're really trying to eliminate traffic. They never wanted to eliminate traffic. If anything, more traffic is better because that means more people using the toll. That means more money coming into the MTA for them to, what I can only assume, is to set on fire because they don't do shit else with it. I have been to many major metropolitan cities in this country. I have been to Orlando. I have been to Dallas. I have been to Atlanta. I have been to Philadelphia. I have been to Boston. They all have far superior train lines and systems than we do. And we're the one with quite possibly one of the oldest. You'd think we'd have our shit more together, but a lot like the rest of this fucking city, No, it isn't. And instead of fixing the problems that we have, they would rather just rule out the people that are in it. There was I don't know if you guys probably didn't hear about this over there, but here in New York, over by where we used to live in Flatbush area. And there's a McDonald's down there on Flatbush and Nostrand over by the junction that we used to call it. There is a McDonald's over there that's near a school. I'm unsure if it's middle school or high school or just high school. I'm not sure. They have finally made a rule that states if you're under the age of 20, you cannot go into that McDonald's without a parent or a guardian. And if you're close to the age of 20, they are requiring ID just to make sure that you are eligible to come into the McDonald's on your own. This is a McDonald's banning young people from eating inside their establishment. The reason for that is because these kids don't know how to fucking act. They're breaking shit. They're attacking people. There's a security guard on premise that got jumped by a bunch of kids recently. They set off firecrackers in the facility and then they run. They don't know how to fucking act. So now there's a really big security guard at the door and a cruiser with 2 to 3 police officers right outside waiting for one of these little motherfuckers to act stupid. So I'm not entirely against the idea of putting in some measure of control for people who don't know how to behave, but that's a different conversation to be had. That's what we're saying here. That's the whole point of this conversation. You have to have a plan that affects the problem. McDonald's on Nostrand and Flatbush decided to enact a plan that would work for them. Does it cut into their funds? Maybe. Because I'm pretty sure not all the kids were up to bad shit and just wanted a quick meal before getting on the train to go home. But they had to do what was best for what they were trying to accomplish, which was eliminate incidences, keep people safe, and continue to run their business. That's not what the city did here. And they're the fucking city. This is a local McDonald's, and they figured it out. The city can't come up with a plan. Even if you wanted to eliminate congestion, the toll is not going to eliminate congestion. It's just going to make people mad because they have to pay the toll, because they have to get down there. A lot of that shit that was down there wasn't tourism. Some people work elsewhere and live there. Some people work there and live elsewhere. They have to get there. And your public transportation does not get them to where they need to go. It didn't get them there when we didn't have it. It's definitely not doing it now that you got more people going into it. None of this shit worked. None of this shit was a good plan. Trump, which, for the record, we don't do politics here on this show. We don't do politics. We don't do religion. And we don't do, I forgot what the third one was. But whatever it is, we don't fucking do it. And I mean it. Same thing here. I don't do politics. I don't give a fuck about Trump in either direction. Left, right, upside down. I don't give a fuck. He's right on this. His words exactly was it shouldn't be.
Well, that's coincidental.
Yeah, I know. You know what's funny? There's a lot of Democratic people. There's a lot of people who are anti-him who don't even live here in New York, who see the writing on the wall and love the idea that Trump is attacking this. Because I just said a second ago, I've been to a lot of major cities. I forgot to include L.A. in that mix. I went to the train. I took a look into the train station and stuff in L.A. too. And all of these major cities, and I've been to them all. The only one I haven't really been to is Chicago yet. But they all have one thing in common. They all have traffic. Because they all have high population rates. If it's successful in any way here, and by successful, again, I mean to the real plan, which means funding, not deterrent. I mean funding. They do not give a shit if the traffic is here or not here. The city doesn't fucking care. If it makes money for the city, trust me, this is going to spread like a pandemic. Atlanta will start doing it. Chicago will start doing it. LA will start doing it. Dallas will start doing it. Memphis will start doing it. Phoenix will start doing it. Las Vegas will start doing it. It will be everywhere. And a lot of local individuals in those areas don't want that to happen. So it's going to take something federal to fix this, and he's on it. Now, is he on it because he wants to help the people? I don't believe that for 1 second. He's greasing some palms here. He's helping some people out here. I get that. A little quid pro quo. That's what he does. But here's the thing. We as a people voted him in. I didn't vote for him, but a majority of this country did. So I'm going to rely on the guy in charge in this current situation because he's 100% right. This is bullshit. It's been bullshit since the beginning. And the fact that our governor, Yuck Yuck over here, her real name is Hochul, but she's Yuck Yuck. I'm confident in that. The fact that she's pissed and mad that the president is stepping in to do something about this is all the more reason why it makes me more upset, because she looks in the face like a person who was lying and then got caught and is now just gaslighting her way out of this situation. Because she's sitting here on TV going, oh, whether you like the congestion or you don't like the congestion, it's about the ability to self-govern, and the federal government has no recourse to be involving themselves in something that involves something on a pure state level and blah blah. She's trying to play the politics game. Oh, if he's going to stop me from doing what I need to do in my state, well, he's going to start doing that to all of you. You need to band with me. No, fuck you. You've gone mad with power. This is a bad scenario for you to be like, oh, the president's overstepping. He's recorrecting. You overstepped.
Yep.
You and your government agencies either overspent or spent frivolously, and now you're in a fucking hole, and your plan to get out was for us to fucking pay for it. And the president is saying, no, you figure it the fuck out. Now, I know their version of figure it the fuck out means toll hikes and public transportation fare hikes, because that's usually where that goes. As soon as they go into a hole, all of a sudden my bus money goes from now it's $2.90. That shit used to be a fucking dollar. That shit used to be like $1.50. That shit used to be even cheaper than that. We're up to almost $3 to take the fucking train at this point, which is like the starter money on a cab. So I'm straight. I'm good. I can't wait to see how this ends, because now the president and the governor are going at it live on fucking television. This is the same president, by the way, who went to Maine. You remember Maine, don't you? The most liberal fucking place on planet Earth.
Well, I wouldn't know that. I don't.
Well, I mean, just the amount of crazies up there is fucking unimaginable. And Trump goes up there and tells everybody, I'm going to make it a federal fucking law that trans athletes have to compete within their original gender sport. So if you were a woman and you're a man, you can't compete in men's sports. If you were a man and you're a woman now, you can't compete in women's sports. Stick to the original team you were on when it comes to sports. That's as far deep as he went with it, sports. And this trans lady lost her fucking mind at the fucking thing, and you can hear her talking in the background. You can't make it out. She's not mic'd, but he's mic'd. He's on the podium. And he looked her dead in the face. He was just like, are you not going to comply with this law? She said, I'm going to comply with the law, the state law, or whatever the fuck she said. Something, state and federal law or whatever. He goes, we are the federal law. That's what he said to her. We are the federal law, and I'm telling you the federal law is going to be this. So are you telling me you're not going to comply? And she just looked at him dumbfounded. He goes, well, if you don't comply, I'm not going to fund this state. He just said out loud on television, I am going to defund an entire fucking state if you don't follow my law that I just made like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, well, I'll see you in court. He goes, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'll see you in court. That'll be an easy one to win.
You won't see me in court.
Yeah, exactly.
You will see somebody
Donald
in court.
Trump either wins cases or he wins cases. There's no Donald Trump either does one of the two. When Donald Trump wins, he wins. When Donald Trump loses, he wins.
You know what? Say what you want. I don't give a fuck about anybody's political views. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I think what people should be more focused on is learning how to adapt to changes, right? So,
Right.
the one thing I've actually learned from one guy that I worked with, he was a worker there, and he said his favorite thing in the world is every 4 years when a president, even if it stays in the same hands, when the presidential state changes, is his favorite time in the whole fucking world every 4 years, because he literally stockpiles money just to invest on where the pivots are, or where the windows are, or where the openings are, or where the divots are, because people get so fucking riled up that they start doing stupid shit, which creates these holes, and he just jumps in those holes and makes fucking money off of them. Like, he's like, dude, I don't give a shit about anybody's whatever. He's like, if there's one thing you need to understand about human beings and the world, is one or two things that are going to happen. Either they're going to figure it the fuck out, or we're all going to die. And if we all die, then at that point, the money doesn't matter. But if you bet on, you put all your chips on something or someone is going to figure something the fuck out, and you put your money on that, you'll come out on top. So when he told me that, I kind of helped me with like my view on politics and shit. And I'm like, dude, you're right. At the end of the day, like, I can't do anything about what's going on, what they want to do. All I can do is comply and then figure out how to move with whatever it is going on at the moment. And if you just look at history, that's how the wealthy stay wealthy, the middle class stays comfortable, or the ones in middle class who stay comfortable, and that's the difference between them and the people who are middle class struggling and the poor. It's like you're so hyper focused on the wrong shit. I say all this to say that, like, my favorite thing to see right now is Trump giving these fucking elitist dickheads the same shit that they give us, right? Like, hey, we're taking your PTO away next year. What the fuck? Like, I had a bunch of PTO saved. Like, it rolled over. Oh yeah, well, guess what? You have 2 minutes. You have 2 months to use it, and it doesn't roll over next year. It's gone after that, right? And they're just like, deal with it. Like, that's a you fucking problem. You better hope that you and 10 other people in the company who've just been banking PTO are all now trying to take time off at the same time, and your company can say yes or no. Right? It's just like, you fucking deal with it. I don't give a shit. What Trump is doing, he's doing kind of like a lot of that to like elite people, and it's just very fun to watch. Like how you say, "Oh, I'll see you in court." It's like, that shit cracks me up. Like, the same person who's getting paid $16 an hour says that to their boss who just fucking fired them at a whim, and just like, no heads up, no nothing. So that's so to hear you tell the story, and like, it, to me, it just like gives me weird joy to like see that person that can't do anything. They're just like, I don't like this. Well, fucking too bad. Like, what do you mean you don't like it? It is what it is. Dude, it's so fun to watch. It's fucking crazy, dude.
I love the overall meltdowns from people. Me personally, just
I
how
love
invested.
meltdowns from higher ups, man. I just love how they give this shit to people, but now when it's being done to them, it's like, you can't do this. Like,
I love when I love when
I
the
kind of care.
I love when the celebrity goes, if this person wins, I'm leaving the country.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Bye. What the fuck? Go then. Like, it's fine. Like, go
Yeah.
adventure. Go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
we live
Go
in a
fuck
world now
out.
where you can do everything from another country. You can Zoom, you can still attend whatever. You don't need to be here.
Dude, back in the day when there was a lot of war going on amongst the entire world, that like those people growing up identified the suffering and like the pain from people. They could empathize with that at home, that they also could across the country, because it's like, we are all going through something. There's a fight going on, whatever the case may be. But it's been at peace for so long that these generations, like I'll see some of these videos of like you do a lot of those like change my mind videos or like that one person sitting there trying to bring light to like young people and stuff like that, and then the young person comes up to the microphone and goes, "Oh, you're a piece of shit, you know, this country's terrible," and then they're just like, "Well, go somewhere else," and they just look at them and they're like, "You're saying this country is terrible, but if you literally take a plane less than 24 hours away and you get off that plane, your life is completely fucking different." And you're standing there holding a Starbucks coffee and all this shit talking about societal woes and capitalism and all that shit, yet you get your frappe made at a place that's doing the same thing that you're accusing other people for being evil for. It's just like this weird warped mentality of like, this country sucks, but at the same time, you're not going to go move to Afghanistan and live there instead, right? Like you're not going to go.
There's got to be a middle ground. I hear Canada's nice.
Like, no, but yes, maybe. But like my point is like, especially a lot of the women with like the women's rights stuff and shit like that. And don't get me wrong, like our country has come to a place that it's at for people who are crazy enough to fight for it, right? So I'll never belittle those people. But when you get these people who are just like saying outlandish shit like this is the worst country of all the world, it's like, all right, well, go somewhere else then. Yeah. Well, no. No, fuck that. Like I'm not gonna, because you know where you are. Like have a compelling argument. Don't just like say this place sucks. There are bad things, but dude, you're not going anywhere else. You're fucking stupid.
Yeah, I've heard people say that. You know, this place sucks. Okay, well then leave. Why do I have to leave? Why don't you guys just change? My response is always the same. It will, just not in your lifetime. So you need to make the decision as to you want to live through it or not.
If you want, your mentality favor, which means you need to get a new fucking mentality.
Yeah.
What's easier to change? Millions of people, especially when 95% of those people have zero power and the government has the power, or yourself? I'd rather just fucking deal with me than worry about like trying to fight those fights me personally. Now I'm not saying that someone's got to fight them, and that's why I keep my mouth shut and I don't talk shit about nobody, because the crazy of the crazies get things fixed. But in any other country, those crazies are getting shot. So all I'm saying is, like, give us a chance. You know what I mean? Like, this country's not we're not the worst in the world. You know what I mean?
Can't be the worst.
No, definitely.
Right. For the record, we didn't just talk politics. We spent a few minutes shitting on it. So I don't want to hear anybody, well, you just talked. No, we didn't.